Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's your boy, Michael, and I kind of wanted to go through some of the indicators that my last video may not have covered, and I kind of just wanted to give you some examples. So let's take a look at GU right now. Okay, I kind of just wanted to go over support and resistance. So that's kind of the indicator we're going to be going over today. We kind of went over the sniper a little bit the previous day. But today I kind of want to go over like I said, the SR. And I kind of want to show you why it's useful. If anything, I actually like the SR over the sniper. And I'm kind of going to show you guys why. So we currently have width 1, right? Strength 1, maximum. This is the amount of SRs on the thing. Finds pivot points, candlesticks, calculating levels using the key levels. Number of support and resistance line, like I said, and then the market dates. I personally set it to a year. And then I have my colors a little lighter, and I'll show you that why. So see how dark these lines are? When the line goes through, you can't really see it. It kind of like knocks out the color. So I usually like to be around just whatever. I don't know how your computer is, but you want like on my end here, I want it so I can see the line. But I definitely still want to be able to find that red line. I want to look and just automatically know where it is, right? So we're going to go into details real quick. So let's just take a look at GU. You can easily see the lines, right? Now these are my purple boxes. Now this is kind of, I guess I should have started this because when I was finding these lines, I actually took this off. And these are my lines. Like these are my support zones that I made myself just now. Because this is a brand new. This is just showing the rise indicators. I just made a new Tradingview, so this chart's not really marked up. I have a chart that's marked up, and it's this one basically as my I think I use 10 indicators on this chart, and you can see it has the sniper, the support lines. And it depends on what I'm trading to, but I just want to kind of give you guys the strength of the sniper. So we can see here. It's pretty accurate, right? It hits off the wicks, especially in this zone. I mean, we're on the weekly chart, so let's go down to the daily. And we can see it hits off the lines really well. Let's go to the 5-minute. I mean, it works good. I prefer, if you're going to trade on a smaller time frame, like 15 minutes or smaller, you actually want to keep this to be a lower. I wouldn't go above 3. I would go channel width 1 to 2 if you're on the 15-minute or smaller. And we can see kind of what that does. I don't know if it'll do it here, but because there's not enough movement back and forth for it to actually have a channel. But let's go to the weekly real quick. So you guys can, and actually what I'm going to do is so you guys can actually see. I'm actually going to increase the occupancy for right now. And you can see how much darker it is, right? Now that's fine, but you'll see why in a minute, why I actually recommend against that. So we're going to just focus on this for now. So we can see I have 1, 2, 3 lines set up here, right? Now that's a line, right? But these are my zones. So these are support resistance lines, but you can actually use this indicator to become a support and resistance zone finder as well. And I'm going to show you that right now. So notice how there's a line here and a line here, right? It almost blocks it. Well, if we go just over here, increase the width, let's go slower, right? And you're going to want to mess with it a little bit. So each time you increase it, it'll make a new zone, and it will switch them. So we're going to try to kind of find one that matches up. We're going to keep going until it matches up with mine. So right there, that matches up perfectly with my zone. Let's increase it 1 more. See, we can keep going. But see, we know that there's a zone down there that I have, so I don't want to go higher than that. That's kind of okay. But we know we don't want this zone marked, right? We want this top zone. So let's see if we can find one that matches perfectly. We're going to go with the lowest value for now. So we want to go with the one that's the lowest. So see that little change right here? We want that to be blocked up. But you also notice, see how we can't see through unless we put our finger over that? Well, if the price is in it, it will go lower, right? But we're just gonna put it for now. We're gonna actually lower it even more. We're gonna put it the around about 30%. Notice how now we can see through those lines. But I want you to notice, see how my lines are almost the same as the indicator? Now, I actually see something here that you guys are probably wondering, well, what happened here? And you can see I actually have a zone here, right? Like we have a zone up and down. This whole thing could actually be a zone, but I'm actually going to go with the indicator on this because for the most part, the indicator is right. And look, right there. Matches up perfect. So the spot that I had below, down here, whoops, spot that I had right here, it's actually saying this is a better one. And you might be wondering why. Well, just remember, we have it set so it takes over an amount of time, right? So Tradingview only goes back so far, but this will go back 200 some days, right? But it does the whole way back. Notice here how much farther it goes back. So it may only be using 256 days of market data to know where to place the SR because we don't want the whole screen jittered and we want to be able to keep the charts kind of clean. It will still recognize support and resistance way back when, or however long far back, the whole way till the chart started. But we only want more recent stuff popping up in the chart. So I kind of want to, we could maybe even do a little bit of, demo showing, and I don't even mind doing that, kind of show you guys how to use it, maybe even along with the sniper in a video or even this video, but I just kind of wanted to show that. I mean, let's go to a lower time frame. So what we had set up, okay, notice how it's a little different though. So we moved that up there on the weekly chart, right? So we know the weekly chart, it's here. So let's just move it to where I wanted it at. Put it down there. Let's go on the daily. Would you look at that? It matches up perfectly with the chart. So if you were a swing trader or a day trader, you probably either wouldn't want to trade that zone, or maybe you would and you want to play. That'd be more of a day trading, I would say personally. But if you were a swing trader, at least you know that's a zone. Maybe I don't want to get in, right? But then again, I mean, you're talking about a nice move. I mean, from here to here, that's a good move on GU. But I just want to say, that's, this SR, it calculates based off every time frame, and that's how you can also see. It's not the same. It's not going to be whatever it shows on the week. It's going to keep going down. So let's go to the 4 hour now. Look, there's a zone right there still. So it's actually the zone we have marked in between. So this is why when I say top-down analysis, this is what you got to do. So if we're on the weekly or the daily chart, right, we're finding zones that it's in. So either it hits in that zone, maybe it consolidates, or it bounces or rejects off of it. But if we're in that zone, we know it's probably going to consolidate, right? Like that's thinking outside the box, and a lot of people may not know that, but maybe you're watching this video and you do. I've taught I've taught dozens of students, okay? And this is just something that I've noticed, and like eventually it does click for them, and they start to understand. And I actually will be opening up to mentor more people here soon. And I actually have a group that I will put in the description, and I will let you guys join for free, and get certain things for free. And it's, like I said, it's fully free. And then if you really want to, you can subscribe for, my alerts and my analysis and all that fun stuff. But, like I said, the indicators. Back to the indicators. So the first video, I told you guys, hey, I'll have a subscription that you can purchase to allow the indicators. I'm actually in the midst of making an EA bot using these as well. And I'm going to just kind of execute and just kind of go through and show you guys how that would look. I'm probably not going to execute that good just because it's on Tradingview. We're going to be using probably bigger candles, so it's going to be hard to get a good entry. But the EA bot will do so much better than I'm going to do today. So whatever I do, I'm not saying guaranteed it will be better, but just assume it'll be better. Now, I'm also not saying I assume it's going to be perfect. It's going to have losses. There's no way you're not going to ever have losses. But the goal of my EA that I am building is to be consistently making profit. Now, whether that's a percentage a month, that's good. I mean, most bots out there can even make 1% a month consistently. I'm talking on a consistently basis, yeah. We can have 10, 20, 30% months. But my whole goal is not judging me on my winners, judging me on my losers, okay? So the whole process that I have going into this EA bot is, yeah, who doesn't want to make 20% a month, right? But I want it coded in a way that we don't have that bad of months if we do have a losing month, right? Because think about it this way. You might have one trader in there. He's joined from the beginning. Let's say the bot's up 50%. He's withdrew his initial. The bot's, like I said, it's up 50%. He's already, well, I shouldn't say his initial, but he's already basically made back what the bot costed, right? But then you got another guy, and let's say it's been 5 months. So he's made 10% consistently over 5 months. He's up 50%. New guy comes in on month 4, makes 10%, right? On the 5th month, because he finally gets it set up and sets it up on the 5th month, makes 10%. The 6th month comes around. That's the first losing month, and let's say we lost 5%. So the first guy, he's up 45% still. The second guy, he's still up 5%, right? 10% last month, he's down 5% this month. He's still up 5%. It's the second month, third month coming into the third month. The third guy, he joined on the 6th month. His first thing is joining, losing. He lost 5%. Now, 5% is not terrible, right? Especially being all automated. But here's where the EAs usually tend to mess up people's accounts. Your EA, yeah, it could be a lot riskier. It can make 20% every month if it makes money, but if it loses, it's down 20%, 30, 40%, if not even blowing the account. I don't want to blow the account because you can have 3 months back to back where you make 50% and you're up 150%, but then what happens is you lose, and now you're down from where you started just having one bad month, right? We want to mitigate the losers and make the winners continue to run. So that's what I mean by it's not released yet because I'm still doing a lot of back testing. I want to make sure I'm going to have a set loss amount for the bot too, where it just shuts off for the month maybe, or for the day, whatever. But like I said, I don't want to lose, we want to be consistently making profit and minimizing the losers. So if at any time you guys want to quote me on this video, I don't know exactly when this is in the video. This is definitely a part if you ever are interested in joining the group or wanting the EA bot. This is a part to remember and maybe even show and relate to or like come back to if you do start it and wonder, I'm seeing all these bots advertise 40% profits, but it's only like one time. And I never see losers. This is why. Okay, I've seen a lot. I've tried EA bots before. That's kind of why I made my own. And I wanted to make my own. And just doing some testing. I've done so far 7 tests, and it's made profit 6 out of the 7 tests. This has included week-long tests, monthly, couple month-long tests, different pairs. I mean, when I say 7 tests, I mean 7 tests on every single pair. And there was only one time out of the 7. So, like I said, 6 out of 7 that after adding up all the pairs, the main pairs, that it would have lost money. And I think it was only down 2%. Versus every time I've done a test and I risked less or more, it's been up, 6 to 11%. So by those standards, I would be perfectly fine with those standards, right? But I can't, in the EA world, you can never guarantee anything. But until I'm fully sure that I would use the bot myself, I am not releasing it. Okay, that is one thing I will not do. And that's just, no matter how much people ask, I've not been able to give out the bot yet. I'm really close to letting a couple people try it. If you actually want to join the group, I will be picking 3 lucky people to try it as well once I do release it for test purposes. So if that's something you're interested in, join the group as well. Be active. We have a community of over 500 some people. We have about, I think 50 people currently being a premium member in the group. We've had over like 100, 150, but we've kind of like died down. We haven't really been as active. I wouldn't say as active, but like we haven't been doing advertising and campaigning. We've been trying to keep it small and just building relationships off the, people who are active every day. And that's kind of what I like. So If you do join, just assume you're joining a family, not just any other group, because that's what we pride ourselves on, is being a family, helping each other trade. A lot of the people that are active now are making money consistently versus they started a couple months ago or a year ago and weren't really doing much. Like I said, I do mentorships. And anyway, back to the indicator. So I just want to show you all the time frames. And you'll see it's pretty accurate. Like these are my new favorite settings. So I was actually messing around with it not too long ago. These are my favorite settings, okay? And you may be wondering, well, how would I use that, right? If I go in the weekly and I know that there's a zone here, these are my purple boxes. You actually, now that I'm thinking about it, you could just outline them and then put in the box. Like, see, if we know that this is the weekly, now we can go text week. And I think it's settings inside center. The box is way back here. But now if we go on the 2 hour, we should be able to, well, we actually went really far back. But you'll see, we got the week, right? We know that that's the weekly or daily, my bad. Because the weekly's up, the daily's here, so we would actually want to put D for daily. So we know that's the daily now. Now, when we go on smaller time frames, we know, okay, well, this is the daily. What's the SR showing? SR is actually showing this. Okay, let's go on an hourly time frame. Okay, well, it's actually showing this now. So what would we do? We know here that this is actually the other zone that I have marked, and this is where it's showing now. We know here that this is the weekly. So if you're in a smaller time frame like the hourly, right, what looks good? Personally, this is an area that looks really good. Look, we want to target the wicks, right? Higher highs, higher lows, lower highs, lower lows, right? Depends on which side of the market you're trying to trade. Personally, I am releasing a docs of basically how I've been trading, but I want to do, like I said, top-down analysis is what usually works best for me. So looking at the weekly, what's happening? Starting to look bearish. Let's check the daily. Bearish, but it just broke the previous lower highs. So what does that mean? It means we're probably getting ready to switch. What happens? Based off the SR, comes up, hits this zone. Notice how every time we get in a zone, though, it consolidates a little bit. That means that your zone is probably correct. Hits up, couldn't break the top of the zone, falls back down, consolidates in between the zones now, right? Comes back up, couldn't break it again, comes back down, consolidates again between the zones. Green for bounce or support, red for resistance. It's pretty simple. And, well, you can see what happens. It works pretty good. So a lot of you traders that maybe have trouble knowing when to take a trade, this would help you a lot because you're not going to force a trade, right? We're actually on a green line right now. You see how it just turned green? Because the candle actually went a little bit above it. But as soon as it comes back down into that zone, it'll go gray, right? Like that. See, the price is dropping. It's in the zone now. So it's going to gray out, but it'll still be here, but you'll be able to know still what it is. So back to what I was saying about let's do a test. Okay, every time frame works. Okay, there's not one time frame that doesn't really work good. But if you're having trouble with getting into trades, support resistance will help you basically mitigate as many trades as you're going to take. It'll help you sit on your hands. Because look, you're going to wait. You're not going to take why would you take a trade right here, right? Unless you're on another time frame than necessarily said to. If we're looking at the 15-minute right now, what are we going to do? We're not going to take a trade, right? The only way we would take a trade is if it came up to here. If it came up to 28.47. My bad. If it came up to 28.47, we would take a put. My bad, I had a cough and a hiccup at the same time. And I'm not really good at editing yet, so I'm not really able to edit all this out. So bear with me, and the more videos that come, the more I'll get used to it and better at it. But I just kind of want to get this out there to you guys. And so what would happen? Would this be a bounce zone? Yes. So if we were to take a call, I'd probably put my buys here. Where would my stop be? You could either go there, right? Now, this is what I mean by, so the bigger the zone, the more major it'll be, right? This is more of a major of a zone. This is kind of more of a smaller size zone. So you could really, if you wanted to, I would target that myself. Just because look to the left, it might bounce around here a little bit, maybe come back down, and then eventually go for it. Theoretically, it should go for this, but we want to play it safe, right? And where would my stop be? That's personally what I would look for a stop. Now, I'm going to keep this here, okay? I am not going to move this. So we're going to do our entry. Actually, could enter there. And I want to keep this here. And for you guys who want to watch, for your sake, we'll put it there. Now, why did I change that? Because I want to make sure we don't get stopped out and I do get entered. So I wanted to put it up a little bit higher just to make sure we do get entered. Now, if I was actually trading this, where would I? You may be asking, like, where would you put your stuff at? I would probably put it here. There is only one problem with entering this as a long is lower high, right? We see that. And usually for a lower high, that means downtrend. So, personally, I wouldn't necessarily take this trade right now. If I would, I probably would scalp to the downside, but I would want a long, theoretically, into that zone. But we're just going to set it where exactly would I enter. Okay, we're going to say I enter here. I take profit. We're going to just put it right here. I do like that stop loss, but for the sake of the video, I'm going to set it here, and eventually I will post. I will even maybe update the comments once this does play out. I will let you know if it's secured. I will put in the description the play did or did not plan out, and I will put that. So if you are watching this at a later time, check the description. You will find out if this play did indeed work or did not, and maybe a little update about what did happen, if anything did happen, if it did or did not work. Or in the next video, I will also maybe go over it, and I'll just kind of go over it in the beginning. But I will still update the description. Anyway, so we're going to lock that in place. And we're going to put... I don't think I can put text on it. Can I? No. Okay. So, we see here, we know that's what I'm doing. And, notice this. It's a perfect area to come right to the bottom of that. And where is my stop? Be up here. So theoretically, we went on the smaller time frame, and we see we probably should put it there. So, you know, theoretically, you do what you want. We could actually probably. I'm actually going to raise that a little bit. I'm just going to leave it there for now, but it's going to be about a little bit over a 5.4 ratio. So 5 to 1, a little bit over a 5.4 to 1 at least, right? Or a 5.5 to 1. That's a good risk to reward, right? I mean, you could basically win this trade and then lose 5 in a row, risking the same percentage, and you'd still be up. So that's a good trade if it does work. Now, I want you to understand that the higher risk reward that you're going for, usually the less the plays will pan out. So the lower your win rate will usually be. But let's go back to taking these trades. So we know here that we can have the zones here, right? So I kind of just want to do we want to do it on a daily? I think we should, because if you're a swing, I mean, this, like I said, this really helps when you're swing trading. So like maybe you look at the daily or the 4 hour. We could probably do the 4 hour. Let me check the hourly. Because like the hourly is going to have a lot up and down. So personally, I like the 2-hour chart. So maybe we'll do the 2-hour chart. And I would like to, let's go to July. Actually, I'm going to look away from my screen, so. Can I go back any further? Okay. Now, you guys are probably going to be like, well, you know that here you can go down there, right? And I don't know if I could really go to a random time. So, we're just going to do the 1 hour, go to replay. I'm going to just, I'm going to look away. I'm going to grab it and just place it at a random spot. Okay? And then that's what happened. So, now we are going to, notice this. We're gonna go and we're gonna buy and sell, and I mostly trade futures, but we're gonna just, you know, pretend we're trading, you know, Forex, and this is the pair I actually do trade. So, where are we at here? So we are in May of 22, right? So we're really actually early in May. So let's go up here. And I think we're going to put it on 1. So actually the recording's still on. Oh wow. It's actually a long recording. Can't necessarily see how long. Oh, okay. Going on 27 minutes. My apologies. But there's so much that I would like to get through. But let's start watching. So we can actually get rid of this for now. So we can get rid of all the stuff that I have. We're just going to go based off of this, right? And so what do we want to do? What do we want to do here? Okay. Well, let's see what day we're on. So we want to see, we're right now we don't want to take a reject, right? Because it's kind of already been in that level. So if we were to take a reject, we would want to take it here. Okay? And then we'd take it down. So let's actually zoom in. We'd actually want to, like I said, take it to the downside. But if it breaks out above, what does that mean? Oh, it broke out above, so what does that mean? We're going to buy. And you may be asking, well, why would we buy? Well, I'll show you here in a second. And we're going to just hold this until we get either to the next zone or until we break below. If we break below here, our stop loss will basically be below here. Now, of course, like I said about the candlesticks, we did get a bad buy. So we're going to average in, and I think this is basically about one lot size, but I'm not sure. Notice how it changed. It did change, but we're still in our first trade. So we have our stop loss was originally at the previous low. So 2258 was our low, right? And we're targeting here or higher. And let me actually turn this on. So we actually have the sniper fire. That would have gave us the green, but we ain't worried about that. But like I said, we're still in the trade. Now we're above it, so that looks good, and look, it came back. So we're just still in it. And we're just gonna, I'm gonna speed it up. And okay, we're down. We broke. So what does that mean? Flatten. And what's today? Today is the 12th. Okay, we see a doji. So what does that mean? Probably a good sign for a reversal. Oh, we just bounced off. Gotta notice that line that popped up. So we're gonna sit in. We're gonna get in and hold. We actually should have got back in for more, but I didn't. Notice now we're getting to an area. Okay, so I would take some off. And so now we're on the 18th, right? So here's what I would say. We got out, we're going to flatten. Why? Because we broke out above and we're going to consolidate. We don't know if we're going to go down or up. If we go up, great. If we don't, oh well. But what I want you to notice, now we're starting to get a nice, push. Right, so what am I going to do? I'm going to buy. I wish the buy would have been here. Here's off the support. I'm going to hold it back up. And look, we're back at that zone. So what we're going to do, we're going to flatten. And so basically we've taken how many trades? One was a loss. Now that could have been poor on mine, right? We're going back in time. So I'm not able to check all the time frames necessarily because it will reset the demo. But I just want to show you the power of being able to know to use this as a confluence, right? So if we were able to go back in time, I'm sure I probably would have found something to not take that trade, or I would have taken it. Maybe I just didn't hold long enough. Or maybe I made a mistake, but that's okay. Like I said, you're not always going to have winners. So we should do. You could take a bounce off that position, but I'm actually looking for puts. Because look, we're in a downtrend. Lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So I personally want to. Yep, right here. We're gonna enter our position. We're gonna get in more because we didn't exit. Like I said, it's too hard to do that, but we would have seen that green line. We wanted to exit. Flatten, because we hit our line now. Now what's going to happen? Well, now we're in July. So it's officially been like a month and a half, right? Oh, now. Remember this zone? We know we could take a stab at a buy because it's worked previously. If it breaks below our 1900, we want to get out. But we got above. We're going to sell. We're up. Sell. Well, we wanted to sell because I wanted to leave one on the table though because we did break above. We're in that zone right now. But we're going to flatten. Just because I misexecuted that. But you see why I wanted to at least save one because we still were in that zone and we could have went up to the next one. So again, that's poor execution of mine, which is what I meant by the EA is going to do so much better than I'm doing because it's so hard to do this on the 3 hour. And I don't want to take up too much time where I'm like going like this super slow with the ticks. Like how annoying would it be if we sat here all day, right? And this is what you saw. Of course, I could execute it a lot better, but how boring is that? Isn't it so much better to watch this? Watch the candles form out. Anyway, we broke below. We would have gotten in a put right here at 20.90. And we're already at 20.370.